Hello and welcome to the episode of The Card Show. Number, was it 145? Which is crazy. And I'm back with the first guest. Probably what I always say the UK goat of YouTube, UK goat of probably social media now. I know you don't take it because you're a humble man. But yeah, I think you've done a lot for the hobby. I like to give you flowers every time we talk. So, thank you for everything you've done for the hobby so far. The new people you brought in, the people you've probably helped stay as well. And without further ado, best intro ever for Sports Cards UK, Dan. Welcome.
Hello, thank you very much for having me. I
Pleasure
wouldn't
as
be here
always.
without your help, my friend.
You know you'd be further.
No, not at all.
I thought it was, I said, a great time to get you back on. I said you were first guest, episode 2 or 3, I can't remember. Episode 145. That's 145 weeks have gone past. I think as well how the year ended, how the years began, sort of the growth in yourself, the growth of the hobby. It's very interesting when I see this with the hobbies on the rise. So many businesses, so many other people have such a massive growth as well. So yeah, it's great. I don't know if you want to talk about how the year ended for yourself and how it's began. Let's get into nitty gritty. Let's tell your story.
Yeah, definitely. I thought towards the end of last year, end of 2025, I found slightly underwhelming. I have never fallen out of love with sports cards. Sports cards is kind of has always been actually the longest hobby I've ever had. I'm very well known by family and friends to get hyper obsessed with something, whether it be like drawing, skateboarding, some extreme sport, some random hobby, it could be knitting, anything, and then spend loads of money on getting all of the best things. Golf was an expensive version of this as well. And then just dropping it instantly and being like, I can't be bothered with this anymore. It's not for me. I'm so well known for it. And to be fair, sports cards has been the most consistent hobby I've ever had. And I'll never fall out of sports love of sports cards. But I think I started to really take the buying and selling of sports cards quite seriously. I would always describe myself as a collector first. I would never say kind of I'm an investor. I've done videos before about sports cards investing, and I have made some good buys. I made some awful, terrible buys.
Haven't we all?
And I think I had a card show which was based in Olympia in London last year that through a few faults that were kind of not my own, Wi-Fi issues, card ladder not showing up all comps, overpaying for items, paying 100% for things where probably, although it was liquid, I probably would have been better off at least paying 90, 95, and a comp kind of coming a later stage, which then made me even worse in terms of where I needed to be with that card. I ended up selling a Reverence Crown Jewels and then having someone comp it against a normal autograph that wasn't a Crown Jewels, which was my mistake. I bought a Zidane card that I think actually having reflected on it was maybe too big a card for me.
Okay.
I was kind of obsessed with going for mid end, and I bought this Zidane Reverence one of one for about it's like 800 quid, and it was just I think it was too much capital held up in one card for me at that time. I've never been a big investor, and I kind of jumped before I could run, or if that's the term. Uh, and there was just many mistakes that I made personally, and I held myself accountable for all of them. That I was just a bit like, I don't think this buying and selling malarkey is really for me. And I did a video where I sort of talked about that experience and confided in Joe, JJJ Cards, who kind of posed me the question: Is buying and selling cards really for you? What do you love about the hobby? Where do you see yourself being in the hobby within sort of 5 years? What's your favorite thing? What do you like to do the most? Why don't you and then just do that? And I kind of thought, well, I don't actually feel like I'm enjoying the buying and selling at the moment. Let me just make some goals for the new year about what I want to do. I'll make a video on it so I can hold myself accountable for those goals. And instead of focusing on the buying and selling, I'll vendor less. So I'll vendor 50% less, and I'll spend the other 50% of the time just doing some more videos about collecting. And I'm still going to attend card shows, but I'm going to do some more interviews with people. I'm enjoying the short form content, so I'm going to focus on that. And then I'm going to try some bigger projects for the year for the long form stuff. So try and make some kind of like mini documentaries and things where I can really put my creative juices into that, as opposed to kind of just do a, I don't know, a collection update or something that's 10 minutes long. What I didn't expect, a couple of things, for me to bring back Mail Monday. that was a bit of a surprise.
Mail Day returns.
That was
I was going to talk about that. Yeah, the return of Mail Day.
That was not in the bingo card at the beginning of the year, but that happened. And another thing was that I'd made so many commitments at the end of last year to book tables for shows that have started from basically January up until now. That's left me for the 4 months at the beginning of the year where I've had tables at every show and I haven't been able to like not vend really. So I think I've got the London Card Show next week. I'm vending 2 of the days, and then I'm just and then I'm walking the show 1. And at the last London Card Show, I vended 1 of the days and then walked the other. And I really, really enjoyed that. But one thing that's changed is I've been really focused on what Joe's doing, kind of a Daniel-son, Mr. Miyagi type relationship. Even though he's about half my age. Well, not that young, but that'd be weird. But I've been watching what he's doing, types of players that he's been picking up. I've been picking his brains, and I've been a little bit firmer with the offers. I've been more comfortable with walking away from deals that don't make sense. I think I put an Instagram story up the other day saying I was buying. I would say I've turned away 90% of people who probably had decent stuff, but I'm just going to be really specific about what works for me. And I think that's really important. It's not learn from Joe in terms of the lessons, but don't copy him in terms of like, you know, if he's buying a PSA 10 Disney 1-of-1, I know I haven't got the money to be able to afford that. That doesn't make sense as an investment for me. But use the lessons that he's or use the kind of the good things that he does, and then just try and work out how does that work for me. So, I mean, even at the last card show, he mentioned I buy as much Liverpool stuff as possible because people come to me for Liverpool because they know I'm a Liverpool fan. So it's just little things like that he says things all. I know I don't want to talk glazing too much, but obviously we work closely together and we sat up next to each other at shows, and I do learn a lot. I think every day is a school day in the card world, and I am always learning and just not forgetting what works for me or what people expect to see from me. And I still don't think people are coming up to my table and going, "Oh my God, there's a Dan reference, or it's a Dan Reverence 1-of-1. What's that doing on your table?" And that is true. Like I literally had people go, "Oh, that's a bit of an anomaly. Like, what's that doing there next to kind of a base Brighton auto or something?" So yeah, recently have been enjoying it. It's been going really well. I've been getting some PSA submissions back from Jim that have been really good as well. Shout out Jim. And yeah, I think I've talked enough there. Sorry, that was a massive long monologue.
You've not talked. Yeah, they don't say that. They're just people. People love to hear these sort of stories because how many people have done the same, have sort of got to an end of a year or even into a financial year and sort of looked at it and gone, is this for me?
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't really reflect and they go a little bit further and dig themselves more of a hole, and then you get more of a hole financially, you get more of a depressive hole about the hobby, and you just leave. So I think it's great that you sort of took that reflection, pivoted a little bit, and said, "Hey, do you know what? I do want to do more stories about cards." I mean, honestly, the movies you put out, the videos you put out, they were like movies, and I think they were taken so well with the hobby. Everyone enjoyed it. Everyone was commenting, watched them.
Yeah.
And then for you to, like I said, just to be at shows because the commitments that, let's face it, you probably didn't want to do it because you didn't want to sell cards, be vending so much, but you sort of did. Like I said, you spent more time focusing on the business of cards from what Joe was doing than having a table full yourself and going, "I have to sell these cards. This is what I have to do." And going, all right, Joe has a client base, he has a customer base that want this, 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 and he knows they know, and they know that he has, and he knows what they want, sort of thing. He's like, okay, cool. So I think that's like great reflection, a great sort of lesson in itself, right? And it's always good for a lot of people to listen to, and sort of hopefully take that lesson for themselves. You don't have to buy every card because it's numbered to 25, because you could just sit on your table because no one really thinks you have them sort of cards. You know, sort of like go for what your clients are going to want, sort of thing. You know, if you're a seller, so you got to do.
Yeah, and I think at the London Card Show as well, I knew I needed to buy cards because my plan was always to stay active within the hobby. So at trade nights, I can't rock up to a trade night and not have any cards. I still love sports cards. So although I'm going to go to a trade night and I might interview a few people and kind of, I did a video. It was a really short one, but just asking people about what they liked about the hobby at the trade night in London Card Show trade night in Regent Street in the Fanatic store. But I still wanted cards to be involved in it because I still love the buying and the sort of the trading and things like that. But I just wanted like a small showcase, like yay big,
Yeah.
with 20, 30 liquid cards in it. So that's what I did at the London Card Show. But as I was kind of putting them in the case, they would all the cards I was buying were selling, which is not a bad problem to have. That's probably what you
Serious.
want. But I was like, oh wow, okay, so I'm definitely buying the right stuff here. Let's just rinse and repeat. And I think I've been a lot slower, if I'm honest, than other people to kind of realize what's liquid, what sells, what works for me. And that's okay because eventually I kind of feel like I've got here now and I feel confident about buying and selling now. But I feel like if anyone's listening to this and you feel like you've not got it together or you're struggling, like I've been in the hobby like 6 years and I only feel like I'm starting to get a groove now, really.
Oh yeah. And again, the hobby moves that fast, right? We're going to see so many different products coming out. I mean, I was talking about this on a pod, I think it's a couple of weeks ago, and I was saying it was, someone who loves the data side of it, and obviously was starting off with the elite card investor. When you have such great selling markers and such a great amount of data that says, hey, Optic Hollow sells well. People love it. Prism Silvers sell well, and don't get me wrong, Prism Base sells well, but it's the price margins. You always look at silver and hollows. Now that Panini lose a license, what is the replacement? What is going to be replacement to the Optic Hollows? What's going to be replacement to the Prism Silvers? So now we're in not of an unknown, because sort of we've already had these sports from tops 20 plus years ago now. I think it is 22 years.
Yeah.
Since we last had NFL Chrome. So we know that X Fractors and all sorts of stuff, but we've got to wait to see, right? The picture is going to be a big one and the design is going to be a big one. So it's going to be a very interesting time. So yeah, people are always going to be learning. I think, yeah, don't be too hard on yourself, and same people listening to it, don't be hard on yourself if you had a bad year, bad 2 years, bad 6 years, for instance. It's all learning. You win or you learn. That's all it is.
Yeah, and I think use that as kind of fuel, as energy to just be like, what there's so many different avenues and roads that you can go down within sports cards, and if you're feeling like you're not enjoying something, just take a break. Don't do it.
Oh yeah.
Find something else. There's no right or wrong way to go about collecting or buying and selling, or maybe there is a bit more rules to follow with buying and selling. But in terms of collecting, like if you just, I think just taking a break from the, if it doesn't work from you and taking a break from the buying and selling, which I did up until the first kind of London Card Show, and just kind of having a reset and just focusing on the collection. And I opened up my Pokemon binder and just bought a few Sharpedos just to kind of, because I knew they were cheap and I just kind of wanted to get that sort of feeling back of being able to put things into a binder without top loaders. Doesn't really matter about condition, things like that.
Yeah.
And kind of restart and think, why did I get into this within the first place? Not everything's about one-on-ones and big money and this, that, and the other. That's a cool part of it, but yeah, don't forget what actually brought you into the hobby and just kind of go back to the ground floor, start with the basics again, and then just work your way back up. And you'll work your way back up to the penthouse just as quick as you did before, because you've learned everything and you'll just fly up. But yeah, that reset I think was really, really good for me. And also, like, I have to say, like, having friends within the hobby that I could talk to about it and be open and honest before making that video probably gave me the confidence to make that video. I wouldn't have made that video if I hadn't have spoken to yourself and Joe and loads of other people beforehand and been like, I feel like I'm in a bit of a rut at the minute. And then people kind of just going, you know, you're fine, mate. Like, you've been in the hobby 6 years. Take a break, focus on what you love, buy some Fulham cards. And that literally, it sounds stupid, but that literally was the answer.
Yeah, I think that's one of the great things about the hobby as well, because like I said, I don't know, I'm pretty sure you and Joe didn't know each other before the hobby, right?
No.
Yeah, so we
The
obviously
first time we met was at the first London card show I went to, which is the second London card show.
too. That was
So
yeah.
that would have been about 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And my first ever deal was with Joe because we prearranged a deal. We'd met on Instagram, but we'd prearranged a deal prior to that show for I got a Bobby Charlton. I can't remember the name of the player that I gave him now. It was like a Russian player. It's not Lev Yashin, but it was a decent vintage player. It was 2 SGC slabs. So there you go.
But yeah. No,
I don't think you'll see an SGC slab in either of our cases now, but there you go. And I had basketball. All of mine was basketball mostly.
Wow.
Yeah. But that was like one of the few vintage cards I had that I bought from America. I paid probably about $30 for shipping, paid about £20 in tax. Luckily, didn't get hit with a massive VAT bill or like your holding fees and handling charges. But yeah,
the days. But yeah, what I was going to say there is obviously we didn't know each other before cards, and like you said, having someone to talk to, like the people you meet in cards become such close confidants that you can speak to them openly about this sort of stuff and say, hey, this isn't, this is not putting me in a good spot right now. What do I, any words? And it's like, it's amazing what cards can do right in the community comes together and the community you build to yourself and around yourself. So yeah, I'm obviously honored to have you as a friend. So it's kind of cool that we have these conversations and we can sort of speak on here and obviously help other people, hopefully, it's always cool.
Absolutely, mate. Vice versa as well.
Thank you. I mean, that's a good little segue in how our friendship. But let's talk about. Let's go to your future plans then. So we know where you've been at. Yeah, I know you've been at. We know sort of where you are now. Where are you going? Now you've had this new direction. Do you think the long form video that did really? I think I said. I think I said on a comment on it like this is like goat material. Like it probably is the best video about the hobby for me. I think it was extremely well thought out. I thought it was done in such a way. It was kind of, I don't say tongue in cheek funny, but like it's funny, but not like haha funny. It's serious. It's heartwarming. It was just everything that the hobby sort of is in a weird way. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like nostalgic, but it was like everything the hobby is right now to everyone.
Yeah. The idea with that is that was like my extreme way of kind of saying, how can I slow everything down a little bit? So I put some jazz music and stood outside the Natural History Museum in London. And, I tried to think of some things where I could leave the house and talk about some things at the beginning and lead into the video. But yeah, that was a bit of a love letter to the hobby, really, and just kind of propping up some people that I admire that had different types of collections. So the idea was to kind of deliberately label all different types of collectors and how they collect, and how that you at home can collect any way you want, and that there's multiple different ways of collecting, and none of them are wrong, and each of them suit that person down to a T. And it was really nice just kind of seeing other people's collections, showcasing other people's collections. Initially, the idea was just that people send me in a couple of pictures, but what was really nice is when that's actually, funnily enough, that's all I asked for.
Yeah,
when I was messaging people, and some people sent in like, some of them I had to cut, but some people sent in like 30-minute videos, and I was like, well, this is insane. But some of the videos that I mean, they were really good. Loads of like mixed types of cards as well, so it wasn't just football. There was some NFL. Probably wasn't any baseball, actually, having thought about it, but there was definitely some basketball in there, some kind of F1 and other bits and pieces, Doctor Who even got a mention, so some sort
Yeah.
of trading card games and Star Wars and things like that. So yeah, probably lost the momentum a little bit since that video, in that I kind of like felt like I set the bar quite high at the beginning and said, this is really the content that I want to be making throughout the year. And haven't done another video since like that. But I've got 2 videos this year that I feel like they're in the works. They're planned, but there's some things that have to happen. There's some filming that's already happened for one of them. One of them I want to get kind of shot professionally in areas. So just trying to find a sponsor to help me cover the cost of that. The other one is kind of about my Roy Keane collection. Some of it I've already filmed in Dublin for the Dublin Card Show. Some of it I filmed here in the office. And for both videos, one will be my Fulham collection and the other one will be my Man United collection. There'll be multiple PSA submissions in both videos. So I'm subject to the amount of time it takes to get a submission back from PSA, unfortunately. But those 2 I think will be really, really good, and it will be a bit similar to the style of the video that you kindly spoke about, but still a little bit different, but more similar in terms of a collecting journey. And also, as I said, where I have been having all these commitments with vending, being able to attend more card shows this year, which is the aim. I'll hopefully be doing a lot more short form TikTok on interviews, and then some different style interviews and themed messaging around some long form YouTube videos as well. And then a lot of the same old stuff that you can kind of expect from me, like which would just be card show vlogs, trade night vlogs, and Mail Monday, which I've actually
Mondays.
I've really enjoyed bringing back.
Yeah, well, how come you brought that back? What happened? How did it happen?
So me and Joe went to a pub, and I actually said, like, I was having a bit of a whinge actually, which I'm not alien to have, and I said, everyone keeps on saying that I want to bring that they want to see Mail Mondays back, and I said, but I was buying loads of crap. I didn't actually think that they were actually very good. And I stopped them because I was just buying, because I would film them every week without fail. I was buying things that I didn't really want or need just to have parcels. And my mum and dad, because I was living at my mum and dad's at the time, was sick of the postman. He would just turn up with bundles and bundles of stuff. And then I would split it up. If I had too much stuff, I'd be like, this is too much for this week. I'll put some stuff into next week. And I just almost went bankrupt just buying so much crap. And if you look back at some of the Mail Monday episodes, they're awful. There's a horrible green screen behind me that's like flashing, looks like it in a bubble bath or something.
Thank you.
There's I'm buying like base Harry Kane prisms. It was woeful looking back at it. I made all the wrong mistakes of buying Ansu Fati cards. It was awful. But and I up until but then Joe, so we were in the pub, and then Joe, we were playing a bit of Monopoly Deal, and Joe was like, yeah, I think they were some of your best videos. I was like, oh, there's no way. And he was like, yeah, I used to really enjoy those. So I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, so what if I brought them back, but I just made it sporadic, so I didn't do them every week? And he was like, yeah, just do that, but then like be honest about it and be like, these aren't going to be every week, but he said only do it if you're actually buying things. Don't just go and buy a load of things again and then do it. And then it just so happened that I'd had a few Fulham 1-of-1s that were coming back soon, and I was buying some bits here and there, and I kind of thought, well, people ask sometimes to see my Fulham 2020 Prism, or they want to see an update, or they quite like me putting things into a binder. It's kind of therapeutic in a way. I actually like that as well. When I watch people fill a binder, there's something really kind of, I don't know, nostalgic, but also like heartwarming about someone almost finishing a collection or finishing a part of a collection. So I brought it back. I did a few funny trailers and things, and lots of people said that they were excited to see it, and I've got some really, really good support on it. So yeah, if anyone's watched this, including you, Pat Cribb, because I know you commented on them. Yeah, thanks for the support with those.
Yeah, I think it's one of
I'm
those.
still buying shit as well. Sorry, am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
I'm still buying crap. I bought some cards that aren't even licensed that have Bring Me the Horizon the other day, which is certified rubbish. But and I even opened up a pot of moisturizer by accident. So I certainly haven't improved on my clumsiness, but I feel like that's what makes me really. So
yeah, I think that's what people love most about you, like the authenticity, right?
yeah.
Like you're the same way you are in your videos as you are in real life, and I think that's what people can relate to so much.
Yeah, the quality might have increased a little bit. I might have got a fancy red light behind me, but really, I'm the same person. Like nothing's really changed, to be honest.
Oh, a fancy red light. I thought it was one of those hue lights that changes colours. Not gonna lie.
No, it's literally it's a light that's on top of a yoga mat.
Oh yeah,
I'm still DIY over here, mate. But I hide it well, don't I?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, good vibes. Doesn't help for the Man United stuff though. People do think you're a closet United fan, right?
I know. Yeah, I know. I'm still beating those allegations at the minute. A lot of people are saying that I'm a closet United fan. So,
is there a picture of you in a United shirt?
Yeah.
I mean,
so that's why. I was a Man United fan.
Yeah,
I was put in a Roy Keane shirt, and my dad is a United fan.
Yeah.
So yeah, have I portrayed my dad?
Yes.
Probably, yeah, I would say so. My brother's an Ipswich fan because my mum's side of the family are all from that way, Suffolk.
Loyal,
so he's always been an Ipswich fan since birth.
Loyal.
So he's loyal, to be fair.
Yeah, good guy.
But the only reason I switched is I did a video on this actually, and I did a TikTok on it, and it did really well, and I actually got some lovely feedback. I think a lot of people agreed with me because it was like if I'd have said I'm a Fulham fan, if I'd have switched it the other way, if I said I'm a Fulham fan, but didn't really fancy not winning anything, so I'm a Man United fan now, people would be like killing me in the comments.
Yeah.
But I feel like because I've kind of gone down a step, people don't mind it so much.
Would you say Fulham are down step for United?
I mean, not by much. There's not much in it, but,
both Europa League fighters, aren't you?
I've probably got the certificate over here that I showed actually. So this was the Fulham FC Community Sports Trust.
Okay.
From I don't know if it's got a year on it. No, but it was run by the guy that was Billy the Badger at the time. And so it was local to us. It was like a summer school. So my mum and dad always worked. They didn't kind of get any time off over summer. So they would put us in like summer camps. So some of the ones that we did were just awful. And then the Fulham Community Trust did one. And it was like, you can play football all day, every day for a week. And me and James were like, my younger brother was just like, we're in. Like, this is the best one.
Sign me up.
And at the end of it, they gave us free Fulham tickets. So because I'd never been to a Man United game, because my dad's a bit of an armchair fan.
Like most United fans.
I think he's been to maybe 2-3 games in his life. But my granddad's Irish, so he's a Gar man. So he didn't really support a team when they moved over from Ireland. So my dad kind of just got into football, and Man United was the sort of the first team he saw. So I feel like him supporting Man United, I kind of get it. It does make sense. Still support your local. This is my dad, I know, probably, but probably should have been a Fulham fan, or maybe even a Brentford from where I grew up. Glad he wasn't a Brentford fan. And yeah, so got to see Fulham, fell in love with the club. First game was against Blackburn, and I saw Morgan Gams Pedersen. I literally thought he was Messi. He was so good that game. And yeah, the next game after that, I think, was Middlesbrough, and we went to a derby game, I think it was.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I just fell in love with the club. I just thought, you know what, it's not easy to get to. Obviously, a London club. Ticket prices weren't awful at the time. Free tickets. Loved to walk across Putney Bridge along the river. Just everything about it. I was like, yeah, this is my team. And then we saw Chris Baird and Zoltan Gera. Show you that. I can tell you the year. It's 08-09. that what it says on the shirt? I just saw it a minute ago. Thought it was on the sleeve. I swear I just saw it. Anyway.
I mean, if you just guessed that, yeah, that's amazing.
I don't know. I thought I saw it on the shirt sleeve, but I can't see it now, so I think I've been tricked. My brain's been tricked. But yeah, that was my first Fulham shirt.
Wow.
And then that's Zoltan Gira and Chris Baird's signature down the bottom here somewhere.
Yeah.
And I nutmegged Zoltan Gira.
Jesus.
And then he went and scored a bicycle kick against Man United. So there you
go. Get that on a sports card. That's what I'd say. Get that nutmeg on a sports card.
Exactly, yeah. And one of my favourite sports cards of all time is actually for someone gifted me it, and it's of Zoltan Gira.
No way.
I've got it in a little frame. I'll just take it off the wall. I won't bother taking it out. Actually, I can take it out. Okay. And they put shout out Owen, put my logo and stuff, like custom slab signed.
Nice. Yeah.
Gira match text. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I became a Fulham fan. Don't know how we got into that. I feel like that was a tangent, or did you actually ask me about
that? Hey, I love these tangents. It's great.
There we go. Yeah, so that's how I started supporting Fulham, really, and then my collection is just now all 2020 Prism Fulham stuff. I've sort of just stuck to that as like, I'm going to try and do a master set. I feel like no one else is stupid enough to do a master set of a Prism set because there's just so many parallels. I'm on
three
binders full of different parallels.
Jeez.
And yeah, obviously loads of slabs as well.
Yeah.
I get all the 1-of-1s graded, and then I get all the gold vinyls graded or gold powers, the 1s to 5 that they're like super fractals.
Yeah. If that ever gets completed, it's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be crazy. If it gets completed.
I don't think I think it's impossible.
Don't say that's not impossible.
To get everyone's. I mean, what I would like to do is to get at least one of everyone's 1-of-1s.
Yeah.
But the only reason that won't be possible is because Harrison Reed collects, and I think he's got 3 out of his own 1-of-1s, and he'll go after that 4, and I can't deny him of it. So
of course you can.
That's
for the collection.
It's kind of an odd player. You'd think it might be a Kearney but yeah, no, Harrison Reed. I won't ever get a 1-of-1. But actually, Mark, who collects them for Harrison, shout out. He's got a base Prism of Harrison Reed, and he coloured the whole thing in black Sharpie and wrote 1-of-1 on it and gave it to me, which was kind of a nice gesture, but also kind of felt like, yeah, you're never going to get one of these, mate.
Yeah. I get him done for counterfeiting cards. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting.
Keeps me busy.
Yeah. Do you know what? That's a nice little segue as well in that section of Harrison Reed. I didn't know Harrison Reed was collecting that, but the growth now as well with the hobby we talked about a lot. But like the sports personalities, the TV personalities are in there now. We're seeing, obviously, what Tosin's been in the hobby for a couple of years, and he's obviously built the Huddle. That's had Adam Wharton, Dominic Solanke. We've seen the Sidemen out at shows left, right, and centre with Cal Freezy, Randolph with Ace Grading, UFC fighters, obviously, with doing breaks with Third Down, or maybe that's Charles Oliveira, Tom Aspinall soon, Dimitri Johnson, Nathaniel Wood. If I had to this to you 5-6 years ago, hey, this is going to be happening. I'll be doing breaks. I'll be involved in hobby card shows. This or the other. Would you believe me? Would you thought no chance?
No, we were at the trade. I didn't know that Nathaniel Wood was into cards either, because we were at the trade night the other night in a pub in London, and he just walked into the pub and I literally, this was like, I'm sure this was like a week after UFC London. I was literally watching him on the telly, and Harry just dapped him up, and I was like. And he was like, "You're right, Nance?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, congratulations on the fight last week." And he was like, "Oh yeah," he was lovely, so nice. But I was like, "That is so random."
Have you not met him? Have you not met him at shows?
No, I've never met him at a show. Sometimes I'm vending. I don't know if he collects. Does he just collect UFC or does he?
No, he's Pokemon.
Oh, well, that might be why then.
So he vended at the last London card show.
Oh, okay.
I think it might have been all 3 days. Definitely had 2 days because he was opposite where we were at Third Down, opposite us.
Yeah.
And yeah, the prior London car show to that, he was just like snooping around, shopping around, going around. But he did a bit of a break with Umar from Third Down. We sort of ripped a box with him and give
Oh,
him,
nice.
which is his first time seeing UFC products. So he didn't understand like patches because he's again a Pokemon guy. So we
Yeah,
opened up and
yeah.
like, what's this one? There's canvas. Like, yeah, so it's like mega thick with canvas in it. It's like, oh, what? It's crazy. So there's a canvas auto. So we Third Down let him keep it. And I think he magged it
Oh,
up
that's
for him.
cool.
Yeah, like keep it. But yeah, but he's like
And
Pokemon.
Michael Smith, Vens as well, Pokemon as well.
Yep. With his son.
Oh,
With
it's
his
his
son, yes.
son.
Yeah, so he's like so into cards, but it's more his son.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But
Yeah, it's
yes.
crazy. Yeah. I think there'll be more and more, mate. With John Terry, I think he's just starting a podcast now with Tubes. That blew my
What?
mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
In connection with Mania cards, I think it is. I saw it
What?
on Mania's Instagram.
Okay.
But yeah, they were sort of teasing a podcast, which is crazy. I just think if I was a footballer, I would absolutely be all over my one-of-ones. Would you not? I think that I would just be obsessed with collecting my own cards. Maybe that sounds like the most like vain,
Yeah.
self-obsessed person ever, but I just think that's so cool that maybe because I'm a fan of cards already, that I would just me being on a card is kind of a bit of a dream. But I don't know. I
Yeah.
just feel like I couldn't ignore the card world if cards of.
I think it depends what my one-of-one is, right? If I'm lucky enough to get like numerous different ones, like a nebula, a black, then I think I'd want one. But I'd like to leave little like Easter eggs out there for people. Like a certain
Yeah.
one, I'd write a little something on it. And
Yeah.
then that's also let the fans collect it as well. Give them that engagement. I'd also like to do like little personal stuff as well, where it's like kind of like an NFT style where if they get it, you don't get my phone number, but you get a number to call, and they like get a voice chat with me sort of thing. It's like, oh, you got me people 101. Hey, we're gonna do a Skype sort of thing, and we'll chat, and like that's what it's gonna mean to you that you have that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, but
Well, I saw Tosin when he was doing his signing stuff for this year, wrote loads of little kind of like CFC, let's go, like write the number 4. So he did loads of little kind of
inscriptions,
extra inscriptions on loads of sticker autos as well.
Okay.
They were all on sticker, so they weren't. He was just signing the sticker sheets, but he was doing loads of little different ones and stuff. And I thought that was really, really cool. I think the athletes are kind of getting a little bit more into that. I saw there was one today. There was a Haaland
keep
calm
calm.
one that he'd written.
Stay calm.
Yeah, which I thought was really funny. On a, it was the Topps Museum, wasn't it? The what was the name of the set now? What's the name of the inset or not inset? But
was it museum? No, it was. I've been seeing the card. I don't think was it museum.
I think it came. Yeah.
Was it?
Oh, I can't think. I saw one recently, Master something maybe.
Okay, yeah, I remember seeing it.
Master Works or something, but it's not that. Marks of Excellence.
Yes, it might have been too fair.
I think it was a museum design, but it didn't come from a museum. They put it in another set. I think it came out of Topps Chrome, I think.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah. But I think original Marks of Excellence was from museum, and then they did this one and put it in another set, and then they redesigned Marks of Excellence and they put it in definitive. So it's all a bit confusing. But I sold a nice Del Piero Marks of Excellence the other day.
Look at that, eh? Always business.
Sorry, I've gone off a tangent. I think we'll see way more athletes in, but they'll be brought into it through things like the debut patches. Like they'll be learning about when they're wearing the debut patches now that I'm sure fanatics will kind of be going to them like someone's going to have they're going to be educating them like this is going to go into a card. It'll be a 1-of-1. Look at what Paul Skeen's done, like how much it went for. The fact that it was even bought by.
Do you think that's
Dick's Sporting Goods? It wasn't even bought by an individual.
Yeah.
And then you've got like Kevin O'Leary wearing logo mans around his to the Oscars, like on a chain around his neck, like Logan Paul. I thought that was actually quite cool because I was kind of to actually have a sports card being represented in a gold chain.
Oh yeah.
I was like, yeah, come on.
Yeah, nice. Do you think?
All about Pokemon?
Yeah, TCG.
Yeah.
Do you think logo patches now because this happens? Do you think it's kind of, I don't say upsetting, but do you think it's kind of like a bit of a shame that these people making a debut probably don't get to keep their shirt no more?
Well, isn't it just the debut bit that goes into the cards? They might still be able to keep their shirt.
So just got a shirt the hole in it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
But
don't
then
know. Yeah.
if it's UFC, it's the shirt that they wear to the walkout. So
Yeah.
it's not like it's their shorts
The
or
trunks.
anything.
Yeah.
Because I think if I was a UFC fighter, I'd want to keep my shorts.
I always want to keep my shorts on. I'll say that.
Yeah, keep your shorts on. Yeah.
Yeah, eat my shorts, man. But yeah, I don't know. I think I've seen in MLB and all these American sports, I'm seeing these debut patches. I'm kind of like, oh, I hope they don't like some people obviously asking me the 1 of 1, right? So 1 of 1 to debut patch is the to 5s match worn shirt. The match worn shirt. Is that going to be the same shirt then, or are they just going to go, oh, we'll just cut the patch out of this shirt and then take other shirts? Yeah, so it's kind of like, oh, kind of sad that. Because I was thinking about Dalman.
I'd imagine not, because then that would dilute the whole point of it being the 1 of 1. And I know it's the patch is unique, but
yeah,
I don't think that they would. Maybe they would. I mean, Topps don't let you know really usually where the shirt has come from anyway, do they? So
no, that's what I do miss about cards when you used to say like the games it was from and stuff like that.
Yeah, Futera are good at that.
Yeah, the good old days. Eh?
Sometimes Topps do it. I have seen it before.
Yeah, I said Topps used to do it best back in the day.
I think they've started to do it. I'm sure they did it on the Estival 1 of 1 that came out of Decades or Deco or one of the ones. It was a really nice patch, and I think they'd said what game it was from. And I've got a feeling they did it for the Sir Alex Ferguson jacket as well.
That's a big one.
That was photo matched anyway. So
yeah, I think that jacket's kind of iconic as well, isn't it? Like that has a little certain, even as a City fan, being a Manc, like that era up here. The shirts, the jackets,
I brought Man United up again. I've just realised what I'm doing here.
Yeah, I've told you. You can't not, can you?
I'm not beating the allegations, am I?
No, you're not beating allegations. I know you're sort of pressed for time, so I appreciate it. So we'll wrap up there, but again, we'll get you on it again for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, I appreciate your time. It's a late on a was it Wednesday night? I think what night is. So yeah, I do appreciate your time. But no, thanks for coming on. If anyone does want to see more of Dan's content, Sports Cards UK, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, it's the same across all 3 of them. Please, please, please subscribe, because you will not be regretting that decision. It's some of the best content you'll see, especially around sports cards.
Thank you, mate.
I'm talking the truth. Any last parting words?
Thank you for having me on.
Pleasure.
Make sure you subscribe to Elite Card Investor and Packer in Mahomes.
Thank you. Thank you.
And yeah, watch this space. Follow me on TikTok as well, because I kind of post a lot over there, daily minimum. And yeah, very, very excited to bring out the 2 collection videos. They're coming this year, I promise. So stay tuned for those. And got a few projects that when they're launched, hopefully I can come on and talk about it again, which I haven't spoken about today, which I'm really excited about, which I can't speak about, but are big for me. So when the marketing comes out for some of those, then yeah, would love to talk about those as well.
So not exclusive, but it's a semi-exclusive.
Not yet.
We'll take that.
I will give you the exclusive, but I just can't.
No,
it's not yet.
Yeah, that's fine. We don't get in trouble. We have our fingers crossed. Hope it all comes. Yeah, we hope it all comes to fruition. We always hope the best for you. So yeah, I hope that comes to fruition. We'll definitely get you back on to talk about, and we'll hold you accountable for these other 2 videos as well. Make sure they are done by the end of the year, like you said. Yeah. So yeah, everyone DM him every month on the the 8th. So every 8th, just DM him. Hey, what's going on this video? What's going on this video? Let him know.
Well, I'm sure Jim will drop me in it and tell me that the submissions have landed, and as soon as they've landed, then I've got to get filming. So yeah.
Man, I got to get John again, man. Jim's was a cool episode, like hearing his story.
Yeah,
it was such a cool episode. So yeah, got to get him back on, and what he's been doing lately as well, like going to card shows in like Toronto and getting cards graved on the day.
Busy.
Yeah, like what a life, man, what a life. But yeah, thank you once again. Thanks everyone for listening this far. You guys are the real MVPs, and we'll catch you next week. Take care.